What's up, guys? Welcome to the behind the scenes Protools session of How I Missed Your Christmas. It was formerly titled Christmas Christmas in the very beginning, so that's part of the whole film composing, working with directors, them changing the titles of the song maybe once or twice, maybe three times, maybe four times, really depending on what the director feels. But I just want to take you guys into the Pro Tools journey real quick on this Christmas song. This part of the theme is the theme soundtrack for the movie Ebenezer the Traveler that has was released December 6th, 2024, streaming everywhere and won many awards so far, and it's been nominated for a few things. Also has won Best Original Song in one of the film festivals, which is pretty cool to learn. And so now I want to take you into the behind the scenes for the fans of Ebenezer the Traveler, which is always something cool to watch and to hear some of the raw footage or the raw content that came here to Walk Sound Studio. So I worked closely together with Joe Valenti, which is the director of the movie and producer as well, and he's also a songwriter, which made the process easy, fun, and very, I guess, gave me the green light to do so much, and it's always cool when the director and the composer, mesh well together. Everything comes out nicely, not so many notes, because, two people kind of like complement each other, and so it was a very good combination. Okay, so we have my Pro Tools file here. As you can see, for those that are not familiar, these are called tracks, and each instrument is assigned to their own multi-track, meaning a lot of tracks. And so the whole song goes right into this one fader called the master, as you can see here. And I have the volume a little low for this behind the scenes, but as you can see, I can control it. I could control it here if I go to like any section of the song. And what you're hearing right now is actually what I want to start with. But if you can see the fader, I can control the master fader here. And that's how we kind of like, set the volume up for the whole mix. And so we have a master track, and then all of these, you'll see like these different colors, like green, brown, purple, some type of purple, some type of cherry red or something, red, more brown. I used a lot of browns here, light brown. I guess it was my favorite color, some type of green. I kind of kept the dark colors for this score, piano bass, bluish, purple. And so these are the multi-tracks. And from these multi-tracks, everything is in their respective folders. So if you see here real quick, these are where the reverbs are. And for this score, I use something we call convolution reverb and algorithmic reverb. Convolution reverb is basically when you placed an instrument in a natural place, a natural venue, like a hall, like a church, theater. And so that is combined together with algorithmic reverb. Algorithmic reverb is basically a reverb that's made. So you have these different algorithms, algorithmic materials combined together, and it creates like a digital reverb. And when you combine convolution algorithmic together, in very little bits of the two will create something special. And so that's this part. That's that. And then these are all the folders like we just spoke. So all the multi-tracks are here. So if I was to take all of these and close them, these are all the instruments in here. And basically, when I'm done processing these instruments, each group will go into something what we call VCA. This is where the mix happens. So as you saw all the multi-tracks, a lot of them, the final mix phase will go into here. So I have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 channels of VCAs where I can control the whole mix, the whole song. I could ride them, meaning writing tracks, meaning where if there's any section that I want the choir to stick out more, I can write it for that particular section, and then it'll go right back to where it was. Call automation. Then I'll have like a VCA master where I can control the whole volume of the song, and I can take control of the master volume. So when we got to the mastering stage, the mastering engineer had nice headroom to apply his processing, in which what you hear now is the end product. And so, before the beautiful music and all that stuff, I want to show you the director is also a songwriter. Joel is also a songwriter, and he sent me his writing, what he wrote. So I'm going to show you a few clips.
I'd forgotten what the meaning was. Lost so much, no loss.
So that's Joe's songwriting, a rough cut of what he wrote. I could take it to different parts.
Families gathered round the Christmas tree. All these years, dreams forgotten and were pushed aside.
So by him sending me that, I already felt where the song was going. And so my job as a composer is to, how can I enhance what he wrote, keep the same thing, keep the same vibe. So I could have gone one or two ways. I could have gone with what he sent me and just enhance everything, keep the same thing, the same flow, and send him something the same way, but more professional, right? But it's a Christmas movie. And when I heard this, what we do first, we set up a meeting as well with the singer, the actress, Emily, that sang in the movie, and share the ideas of how do we feel about modulating to different keys. Can we do this? And my composer table over here, we had a Zoom meeting, and that's where we tested different keys and how high can I take Emily, and is she comfortable with going back down, going back up? And all of that worked out. I told Joe, like, hey, listen, I'm feeling like something perhaps orchestral. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to send you what I have. And so, a short story. Let's make this a short story. What I sent him the first time, the rough mix, he loved it. It was approved. And then we went into, after writing, we came into Protools for the post-production stuff and mixing. So I'm going to take you through real quick each instrument, and we're going to get to that. So now that we heard the director's view, we can switch to mine.
But now we're becoming so clear. A new day is dawning around the bend.
So that's my enhancements of Joe's song. So what we have first is, the orchestral thing. We have vocals, obviously. There's no background vocals. There's only a choir that's in the back, just enhancing the song to push the choir, to push the lead vocal a little forward. The whole thing was to keep the vocals forward. That was the whole idea here, because this song was created for the scene. Basically, there was no picture for me to write to. There was music for me to make so that the director can take it to the musical scene. So they shot the scene with the soundtrack already finished. And so we wanted to put the vocals in the front. The whole idea was to put the vocals in the front. As you can see here, I initially, this reverb here, as you can see, the fader is at about 10. So I originally had it where I always put the reverbs for vocals. Joe wanted to have a little less reverb. And so there was a touch of reverb where it isn't heard, but it's felt, that type of vibe. And so we kept it a little bit more natural for the movie. And we also kept it natural for the soundtrack release. So there was really nothing that was changed for the soundtrack release. And, you know, the mix for the movie. And so I could let's start with that. Let's actually start with the vocals. So the processing here is a few things there just to build something. What we use, these plugins are plugins that were used that would add the color to the voice. And so we created something, you know, that would be the best for the song. And so we have the vocals here.
But now we're becoming so clear.
You can hear the reverb just goes away. There's no long tail on the reverb. It just goes away.
Again, this feeling of Christmas is inside all of you. Christmas, Christmas. What is it?
So as you can see two tracks here, two vocal tracks. That's because of the way the song was composed by Joe, which is nothing new in recording sessions. We always put a different vocal track in case we want to elongate a note, so when the chorus comes in, they could just come into that, and and the singer doesn't have to cut their note short just to get into the chorus part. It's something that's always used in every record that you hear out there. So you can see.
View Christmas.
So when you hear it with the song,
All of you. Christmas.
so that is the vocals featuring Emily. And let's go into a different folder. Let's close this folder. Let's go into piano and bass. So over here we have piano and bass. So as you can see, there's not a lot of processing for the piano and the bass. Just maybe high pass cut here for the bass, because there was being that the song had orchestral drums, low brass, high brass. This is how we carve things out so that we can make everything fit. So we use an EQ here where we cut out some frequencies because other frequencies that I want to keep in the song. So we make everything fit into, like, we're making everything fit into this last fader over here, the master. So we do a lot of high pass, low pass, frequency cuts so that we can make other instruments fit. The piano is also being kind of molded so that it can fit into the song. The piano is kept very simple as well. So we have this other plugin here. Just select so we could open. So I put like a little, made the piano, gave it some width so it can kind of like fit in the song because there's so much going on. So I just kind of added a spread there so that it can stay in the back and chill in the back and, you know, all that good stuff. So that is the piano and the bass. Let's go into the strings. There's a lot of work in the strings, I believe. Let's see. So we have beautiful lush strings going on. And with those strings, we have some algorithmic reverb and also convolution reverb, which gives it the realness that it needs to really give the song power. You can hear it. So in such a huge song like this, you see the plugins, and now that you guys understand why the plugins are there, is to cut frequencies, expand things, spread things out, add a little bit of bass, add a little bit of highs, use compression, use some delays, and all of those things that you use by little turning knobs. So you don't overuse things. You kind of like add it up a little bit, little by little, to make it fit in the song. So we have a mix of what we call long strings. We have a mix of short strings, as you heard, and it's huge. That's like the whole string section. So that is the strings. I'm gonna close this folder. I'm gonna take you real quick to the drums. So the drums, what we have here is kick. We have the drums all spread out. We have the bass drum, the crash, the snare, the cuts, the rim shot, the hi-hat, the swells, the ride. We have some percussion, tom work, timpanis, all that good stuff. Let's see what we have here. Let's have some fun with this real quick. So you can hear the timpani. I just love doing those things. Those are fun. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again. One of my other favorite parts of the song is adding percussion drums on top of drums and just make a mess out of it. So there goes that. That is one of my favorite things to do, is programming drums. It's so fun. The next thing I'm going to take you to is minor instruments, which I have no idea what that is. The minor instruments in this song is some harps, chimes, bells, and sleigh bells. Where are they? Let's find them real quick. Let's see where they at. Let's start with bells, or this. So now that we're talking about chimes is something that was very important for the song. Joe, for this song, was an avid fan of chimes and the sleigh bells because of the Christmas movie. So we wanted to put those elements in there to give it that feel. You put sleigh bells on anything, and then you're gonna get a Christmas feel. You know what I mean? So we combined all of those things, and we got that. So we got the harp as well. The bell, and that's where the song comes in. Anything more aggressive? Let's see. You can hear also the reverbs that we have there. They're not major, like it's not like a long haul, but we have it. So basically, for each instrument, we add a tad bit of a mix of convolution, algorithmic reverb, which you guys already know, and that gives it a realness to it. So when you put everything together, you're gonna hear everything just going up. so you can hear those church bells. Okay, so the next thing is choir. Choir was a very important part into this soundtrack. Let's see what we have. You can hear also the reverb on that as well. I'm a big reverb guy. So in mixing, you don't see one channel of everything choir. So there's a different sets of tracks, which are these, the 4 faders that you see right there. One represents the choirs throwing short notes. I can take you to that. They're on a separate channel, and the reason why we have things on separate channels, it gives us the freedom to process it differently from an aggressive choir that's men singing, and then you have another choir with women singing, so we can process those things differently. So you have that. So we process them differently. As you can see here, the plugins, the processing might be the same, but they're set differently. And then we use different types of reverb, but still with the mind of convolution algorithmic to give it a little different taste. And so those are the choirs. And we're going to mute that. Next thing is woodwinds. The woodwinds played minor parts, like they're not all over the place, but they gave us the orchestral feel. They gave us like that nice, bright, happy feel. Since we have a bunch of aggressive stuff happening, the woodwinds will give us like a light feel, like, okay, there's it's beautiful type, it's nice. So we can hear what we have here. So they're just giving us licks. They're giving us moments of, like, okay, this is good. This feels good. We go to the choir. To the chorus. Let's see what we have. So on that part, we're just throwing little licks. Then we have the trill, one of my favorite things of the song. Let's hear that in full context real quick, if you guys don't mind. Let me just... There goes that. So in the mix stage, we place things in certain parts. And if I felt like at that particular moment that trill, that woodwind was important, I would have probably written it, and there's no rides here for that. Meaning I would have probably put it louder for that section, but I guess the decision to not do it was for a certain reason, I guess. So you can hear the trill in the back, which is, I guess that was the whole point. The whole point on this section was for the strings to be up in the front, and the woodwinds just giving us that in the back, which is part of the mixing process. So we make those decisions when we're mixing. The next thing I want to show you is the brass, which is huge. We have the same amount of brass. We have long notes, we have short notes, and we have the reverbs, the 2 different types of reverbs connected, so that you guys already know what's happening there. Okay, so one of the things I also want to share with you that all of these instruments are placed in a plugin that simulates a console. So back in the day, before my time, I guess, or when I was really young, everything was recorded in physical consoles. And so this gives us the vibe of the physical console. So it goes into this system, and it gives us the sound as if we're there physically with that equipment. And so we have that. I don't think there's much reverb happening on this. Let me see. No, I don't hear it. Yeah, there's nothing here. So you can see that I decided not to add any reverb whatsoever because of the way it sounds. You can hear kind of the room, so there was no need for me to add reverb. I didn't add it.
Children open presents.
So that is the brass. There's other parts as well. We have some shorts. So we have that, and the next thing we have is orchestral ensembles. So an ensemble is obviously what it sounds like, a group of people together. So if you put like an ensemble choir, ensemble drums, orchestral is basically everything melodic together as one. And what I did with that, I used it as complements for like ending things. Like for example, for the end of the song, we have a crescendo that I use. That's it. So I used it for that, and anywhere else you can see that there's nothing else in there. So that particular part was just for the ending, which is the beauty of making music. So when we make music, we use our tools to complement certain parts of the song, to add realness to it, using the processes and everything. And sometimes it's very light. So certain things have light work, like the roles that they have in a song is very light, but it adds color to it, So and that's basically that. Basically when we go into the mixing stage, I go into my
No matter what the cost, Christmas.
So I have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 channels to mix, and then I'll have like a VCA. So this VCA right here, the V master.
The spirit of gift.
See, it's not the master track. It's just it's a V master to control the whole mix.
Christmas, how I missed you, Christmas.
So the last thing I want to show you with the mix is the most important thing is writing, like I said. So we'll take any parts of the song that we want to stick out more, we'll write it. Let me show you some parts here that are possibly writing. As you can see, these little white dots is where we're writing. So if I take you here,
Needed to see Christmas.
try to make it more obvious of those things that are moving by itself. You can see.
And seeing it start to snow.
So you can see the rides. There's a lot of rides in this song, but you saw here on the VCA part in the section where we kind of like pulling back and we're pushing forward. That's what makes a mix. That's what adds the dynamics to the songs. I could show you more of that because those things are fun. If I was to open up these folders real quick, I can perhaps show you more rides. Let me see. There should be. Are there any rides here? Yeah, there's some rides. Some automation somewhere. Yeah, some over here. The outro where we kind of like go down. So yeah, there's as you can see, a lot of the rides happen. You got some rides here. So if you see this,
Families gather around the Christmas tree.
can't find the brass. Oh, right here. Okay. So look at the purple section, the brass. Look how everything just goes down as a whole.
Families gather.
So that is coming from the VCAs. So from the VCAs, if you look at the VCA, the V brass,
Families gather around the Christmas tree.
so that's what the VCAs do. They control the whole section of the instrument. So when I go up and down, the whole section, that whole folder goes up and down as well. And so that's what writing is, and that's what makes the mix. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes of what it means, what does Christmas mean to me. And if I got the title wrong, I'm so sorry. How I Missed You Christmas. So yeah, the title went from Christmas, what Christmas means to me, I think, and then How I Missed You Christmas. And that's part of the process for writing for a film. You're dealing with the director, you're dealing with the songwriters, the composer. So a lot of these things happen naturally, where titles just change over time until it gets to the final stage. And so basically, when I export these as stems, the stems basically mean, you see these sections right here, they get exported out of this session separately. So you'll have like the whole lead vocal, you have the choir, the drums, piano and bass, strings, brass, woodwinds, orchestral stuff, minor percussion. They get sent out to the re-recording mixer, where he has the option to either use the full mix or use the stems if he needs to. That's out of my control. And so, but we make everybody's life easy. Okay? Thank you for watching, guys. You can stream the full motion picture album on all platforms. You can also hear it in Dolby Atmos. You could also watch the movie on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and other platforms where you can actually search for it on Google. You can see everything where it's playing. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. Have a great week.